without further ado, our next guest, Miss Lynn Walsh of Women's Volleyball. Thank you for coming on the show, Lynn.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Lynn works very hard for us behind the camera on LHSN, but we're going to put you in the spotlight for a little bit, and we're going to talk about the volleyball program. We have talked more about the program this year than we did a year ago, and for a very good reason. One, we're all better at our jobs. Two, you guys are looking night and day difference from last year. And without going into what's the difference between last year and this year, you guys are almost at the end of this year, so let's not worry about that. Let's focus on coming into the season. You knew you had great talent. You knew your freshmen still had to get molded a little bit. How much growth have you seen? How much good growth have you seen from the very first game to last night's contest against Guilford when you have someone like Lauren Stanford who has 28 days?
Yeah, absolutely. We knew coming into this year that our freshmen were super talented and that they were going to bring a lot to our program, and they did. They come in day one of preseason with the skill. Towards the end of the season now, we're working on the mental aspect because volleyball is a huge mental game. So we've really focused on purpose with all of our shots, with all of our passes, knowing where we are in the court, and maybe the ball's off so you can't slam it down at your opponent, but you have to tip it or you have to roll it and find the open shot in the court. So that's what we're really working on now.
I think that's a very interesting thing you talked about there, the mental side of volleyball, because I think even someone else from your team mentioned that when we think of most sports, where obviously the mental part of it is part of it, but we're also thinking, oh, whoever's got the biggest, fastest, strongest players is going to win that contest. What about the sport of volleyball makes it more mental than physical? Yeah,
it's definitely a huge mental game. You're going to lose points, and that's a fact of the game. You're not going to win a game 25-0.
Right.
So it's how you respond to those points and how you're going to bounce back. And at the end of the game, in those tight games, like last night was, we were finding open spots on the floor, and we were putting the ball where their defense wasn't.
Is that how much of a confidence builder, I should say, is those games in which it is close? Because nobody's going to be upset if you win by a lot. But I feel like if you're getting closer to the end of the season, you're about to start the ODAC tournament, you want to be able to have experience in close games.
Yeah, the ODAC's a conference of volleyball where you can't overlook anybody, so getting those tight wins are just as huge as getting those shutout wins. Last night especially, we knew Guilford was a really good team, and we knew they were going to battle us pretty hard. So it was a pretty tight game throughout, but we were able to pull away at the end, which is something we probably wouldn't have been able to do a year ago.
What about your season overall? How do you think that you have progressed from a sophomore to a junior?
Yeah, last year was tough for me, getting injured within like the first week of season, and coming back this year, I knew I was going to be looked to with so many underclassmen, and kind of stepping up and taking them, showing them where I think they can score, and if they've got a better idea, then telling me where they think they want to score.
Well, also building that leadership role, of course, is something that's very important when you're going to be a senior next year, and you got all these freshmen this year. They're going to be looking up to you for sure. Is that something you relish? Do you like that? Do you like being in that position to lead?
I like it, yeah. It's kind of come with the position I play as setter, that you're being looked to lead the team. But it's fun. We're a fun team. We all have fun. We all respect each other and know that we've got a job to do, but at the same time, we love volleyball, and we're not here to do a job in its full sense, but we're here to play the sport we love, and winning's fun. So if we can do that, we're going to do that.
Well, winning is very fun, and you have experience with teams and winning even out of season, with something that we highlighted last year for you and your love for jump roping. A lot of people, once they get to a certain age, like, nope, no jump roping, it's too much of a workout, I don't want to do that. But you have made a point to, even once you got into college, sticking with it. I'm really interested in that part because you're very busy. You're a full-time student, you play volleyball at a very high level, and then you have to have these moments in the off-season where you're practicing for nationals and everything. Why continue to put yourself through that grind?
I guess I just love the grind. I love doing it. Jump ropes, it's something that you can't really describe, and it's a different environment than any other sport because you have these people that you grow to love, but you're doing on your own and you're doing it with them and you're all coming together to do it. And it's addictive. That's all I can say about it. I love my team, and that's the reason you really keep coming back for it.
How long do you think you can do it?
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
Last year I said, yeah.
That was it.
I'm done.
She hung up the jump rope.
Hopefully, looking to come back as a coach this year, so we'll see.
So still staying involved.
Yeah, I'll always be involved, just different roles.
What's your favorite memory from doing that?
Oh, there's so many. It's taken me so many places. I wouldn't have ever been on an airplane till my senior year of high school without jump rope, and flying at 6 years old all around the country.
Ooh.
And just the opportunities you had. My favorite one's probably the Macy's parade. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to jump that twice. So
That's
and it was
awesome.
Yeah,
that's
it
not
was
something
cool.
everybody gets a chance to do.
Yeah, it was tough. Training was tough. It's 3 miles continuous. But it was fun. I mean, it's not something you can say you do, and if the opportunity comes, you gotta take it.
You could have had a nice meal at a buffet after
I could
all
have,
that.
yeah.
All those calories burned for sure.
I could have.
Something else, of course, that comes with this, we mentioned you're a full-time student.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you have career aspirations outside of your 4 years here. You mentioned you want to be a multimedia journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Some people would say, what does that mean? Are you not honing in on one specific area?
Yeah.
Is that basically what you're looking at?
Yeah, I think with today's society and in today's world, there's so many different mediums you can get your message across, and that different ways relate to different people. So if someone's reading your print, that's going to get across to them best. But the younger generation and my generation, videos where it's going to be in social media. So to know all those things and get message out there.
Mm-hmm. Do you find that when you're posting something for yourself, that you're thinking of it as, okay, does this time of day work best for most reach? Do you look at it that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone does. You know, you have like your prime posting hour.
True.
But you try not to think about it.
We do live for likes.
Yeah.
We do. We live for likes nowadays. What made you want to think about doing that, about covering stuff, about being in, to try and cover stories and bring that to other people who may not be able to be on that level?
Yeah, I like how there's always something deeper than what you see on the surface, and how you kind of have to dig to find that, and letting people know what's out there and what they're missing in the world, because it's so big and there's so much going on.
Right.
And just interacting with people and learning more about different ways of life around the world.
Are you getting to do any of that here on campus?
Yeah, with LHSN.
I was hoping you would throw that plug in there. That was really, really good.
Do what I can.
Great job, great job. We teach our students very well on how to brand LHSN. Before we go, Lynn, I do want to talk about end with volleyball and talk about, for you guys, when you look at the ODAC tournament coming up and the way you guys have battled and the wins that you've had, even though you're not going to be hosting, when you talk about the ODAC, you say we can't overlook anybody. Do you feel like when you go into a game, they can't overlook us because we have a great chance to come out with a victory?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a tough team. We're a resilient team. And one thing that we have over some other teams is that we are a team in its truest aspect, and that we want to play for each other and the person next to us.
You got me sold.
Yep.
I think you guys are off to a great start to your ODAC tournament, and wish you the best of luck once you get there.
Well, thank you.
Lynn, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.